He was a Scottish engineer born 1888, who would go on to have a link with the celebrity world of soap opera, drama, and lifestyle programs. John Logie Baird became famous himself for being the first person to demonstrate a working television. His first crude apparatus was made of odds and ends, but by 1924, he managed to transmit a flickering image across a few feet. 1926, and Baird gives the world's very first demonstration of true television in front of 50 scientists in an attic room in central London. In 1927, his television was demonstrated over 438 miles of telephone line between London and Glasgow, and he decided to form the Baird Television Development Company, or BTDC. Baird continued to work on improvements, and recognition followed.
It is now 12 years since this apparatus showed the transmission of outline images to the public for the first time. This is the scanning disc with its lenses. This is the second disc by which the light is further divided and passes into the light cell. This apparatus was shown to members of the Royal Institution and others on January 27, 1926, and showed true television images in light and shade for the first time.
Baird worked frantically and tirelessly, but tragedy struck in 1936 when his Crystal Palace studios went up in smoke.
Today we are able to show television on screens large enough to be shown to a cinema audience, and have recently been able to send wireless television pictures.
John Logie Baird was indeed a man ahead of his time, foreseeing colour television and wide screens, the first to produce a live, moving, grey-scale television image from reflected light. Baird had success where other inventors had failed. Baird was at the forefront of virtually all developments in television and continued research into colour, stereoscopic and big-screen television until his death in 1946.
Years ago, since I produced the first little flickering television image. Today we have in London a regular television service twice daily with thousands of lookers in. Television has grown from a scientific novelty to a commercial service. At present, the range is limited to 30 miles in and about London. In this connection, it is interesting to note that as far back as 1928, I spanned the Atlantic with television. That was, of course, purely experimental, but who can foretell the future?
And the future for television and John Logie Baird was very bright indeed, with Baird's company making the first television programme for the BBC. John Logie Baird was undoubtedly a visionary, with a particular talent at invention. His other developments were in fibre optics, radio direction finding, infrared night viewing and radar, and he developed an early video recording device, which he dubbed phonovision. But when we look at television today, it's hard to believe that Baird built what was to become the world's first working television set by purchasing an old hat box and a pair of scissors, some darning needles, a few bicycle light lenses, a used tea chest, and sealing wax and glue. Through ill health and financial ruin, John Logie Baird continued to develop this amazing idea of television, even though he was called crazy more than once. The evolution of television, from its mechanics to its impact on culture, politics, news and entertainment, is immeasurable and may have been beyond Baird's imagination. Although his electromechanical system was eventually displaced by purely electronic systems, his early successes demonstrating working television broadcasts and his colour and cinema television work have earned John Logie Baird a prominent place in television's invention.